Good morning, welcome to day 100 of my Munros challenge. Wow, 100. So today I'm walking 2 routes, well the next couple of days. So I'm parked at Afric car park, there's 6 Munros, and I've booked into the Afric youth hostel. So tonight, so I'm going to bag as many as I can today and then finish them off tomorrow. So that's the plan. So the 6 Munros, routes number 57 and routes number 58. Mam Sodhail, Hill of the Barns, Carn Eige, the File Hill, Benyon Y, another Benyon Y, when he did one 2 or 3 days ago, Finley's Hill, and Socach, again we did one of them a few days ago, the Snout, Gregan, which is Hill of the Kestrel, and last but not least Carn Eige, which is Hill of the Quarters or the Divides. So like I say, I'm going to try and bag as many as I can today. Not sure how many will get done. Drop down to the youth hostel. So I'm packed up for 2 days. Big kit, a lot of kit in my sack today, so it's going to be slow going. Let's get on with it. I start the day by following this track, no cars beyond where we parked at the car park. So follow the river, then follow the lock. I'm probably going to be about 3 miles before I turn right and start ascending. So a steady walk out. Wow, looks a bit rainy ahead, but look at that rainbow. So we're still following this track along the side of the lock. So we're going to hit some weather. So this is where the fun starts. There's a right turn here. We're going to follow a burn right the way up the glen. Quite a stiff climb. So we're just leaving the lock. Fabulous. Some hard work ahead. Let's get on with it. So you can see the path cutting up the glen. Quite a windy day today. In and out of showers. The path makes its way quite steeply. It's quite makes its way very quickly. Wow. Look at that. Well, I thought I'd take the opportunity of a quick video whilst the sun's come out. As quickly as the rain comes, it goes. Still following this burn. The path has become boggy and indistinct. We're going to follow it round, and then we're going to hang a right up to the summit, which you can't see yet. It's around the corner. So we're at the corrie, and I have to say it looks steep whichever way we climb out of this one. So I'm almost at the top of the corrie. Path wiggles up quite nicely. So we're making our way up to the summit. So here we are, Mam Sodhail. Wow, it is so windy. It's blowing with my feet. So that's Carn Eige. Way over there will be Benyon Y. Wow, what a view. I've just had to take shelter behind this cairn out of the wind. Drop down to the Bielak and make our way to the next stop. Look at that ridge over there, doesn't that look awesome? I've just got to take every opportunity I can to get out of this wind, take some video footage. It is blowing me over, it's ridiculously strong. So dropping down to the Bielak, you can see the track making its way at the other side. And then we're going to go to the next Munro over there, and I'm going to try and contour around on the way back to save doing the tops. So we'll see how we go with that. I can't see any visible path, so that'll be interesting. So I'm in the Bielak between the first 2. Awesome views. So here we are at the top, Carn Eige. just dropping off the top. It's quite a long drop now to the next Beelac. Wow, look at that. Onion Y. A rainbow down at the Beelac. Yeah, it's been a boulder field coming down here. Been very, very tricky in this wind, trying to keep the footing. Wow, first two Munros. It's so windy, it's blown me over twice. I've just got in a bit of a sheltered spot here. Very, very grassy bank this one, quite a nice climb. I don't think I'm too far from the summit up here. So, here we are, Benyon Y. Wow, that was hard work in that wind. That's Mullerdock there. 4 Munros we did the other day. So I walked down that ridge into them peat hags, if you remember, and followed the loch all the way back. It was a long way. There you go, Carn Eige there. And then beyond you've got Mam Sodhail. So, over there we have Socach, right over there. So, there's 2 other Munros over there, I can't quite make them out yet. So the plan is to drop back down to Beelac, and then rather than going over the first 2 Munros, try and contour round to a certain extent. I'll still be climbing, and eventually I'm going to drop right down to the Beelac over there, but I've got another top to contend with first. So I'm just traversing around the underside of Carn Eige. You see all the scree up there that I'm avoiding, and we'll do the same again over there as well. We'll try and get to the Beelac the other side of it. We will have to climb at some point, but I'm trying to save the climbing for later. So that's the 3rd Munro over there, and I've pretty much traversed across all the way to here. So that's the 2nd Munro over there, and I'm now underneath the 1st Munro, and I'm traversing around, avoiding hitting these tops, heading over to Mam Sodhail over there. So I've picked up this very faint track, heading over to Mam Sodhail. I'm on the underside of this top now, so I'm trying to traverse round. You see where we've been. Munro 1, Munro 2, Munro 3. That's probably the Munro in the cloud over there as well. So I'm in the Beelac, below Mam Sodhail, and a bit less wind down here. It's still been raining, but it's quite a steep descent, as you can see. Now this is Mam Sodhail on this side, which doesn't look as high, but I don't think that's the top. I think it goes again. So there you go. I have to say, this is steep, grassy but steep, and I think I might be a bit tired. Fighting that wind all day has been exhausting. Here we are at the top of Mam Sodhail. So we're at the Beelac. 4 Munros bagged, pretty good for one day. I was hoping to do more, but the weather's awful and I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to drop down to the hostel, which is about 500 metre drop, which we're going to have to climb back up here in the morning to this point to bag the other 2. Just looking up to the Beelac, it's quite a rough, squelchy, boggy path actually, dropping down. Just stopped raining again. Definitely made the right decision. Looking down into the glen bottom, and 2 roofs down there of orange roofs, so I guess that's the hostel. Good morning. So we're resuming from yesterday, so I guess you could call this day 101. I slept in the youth hostel. Absolutely fabulous value for money. Warm bed, had some food, shower, toilets, totally refreshed this morning. I didn't realise how tired I was. Still a gloomy day. Got 500 metres of ascent back up to the Belak up there. It's still a gloomy day, but the wind's died down, I believe, so it's got to be good. 2 Munros. I've left half the contents of my rucksack in the hostel, so I'm coming back here, picking up the contents, and then it's about a 10-mile walk back to the car. So it's still a big day. Yeah, it's not overly steep at all, really, just as I remember it going down. Probably halfway up to the Belak now. Just get to this deer gate, and the Belak's up there beyond. Hopefully not as windy as yesterday. It appears less windy now, but I am sheltered here. I have to say, it's a very difficult path, cutting round, very rocky. We're cutting around to the next Belak, and before we start making the ascent of the various tops. Not an easy path at all. Very, very, very difficult navigation. No path really, no visuals. We've got a locken. Perfect. I need to skirt that locken. So I've managed to find my way to the ridge path. I have to say that was extremely boggy, squelchy, no path, extremely difficult navigation. Anyway, I'm here, so let's start making our way across this ridge. I think there's a couple of tops to contend with. Unfortunately, there's nothing to show you. Following this ridge path now, good path. I'm sure there's some fabulous views off of it, but alas, I ain't seen any of them. So this is one of the tops, Carn Eige. Nothing to see, as I said, so we're going to carry on to the summit. Still a way away. So here we are, Mullock Nat Gregan, with a chap called Will, who's running, and he's caught me up. Makes me feel really slow. Yeah, it's good to be on the top out of that wind from yesterday. So debilitating. Retrace our steps now. So following this ridge path back, you just can't help feeling that you're missing out on a spectacular view. So this ridge isn't as straightforward as what you might think. There's various boulder fields and tops to contend with, so it's quite undulating. Fabulous ridge. Hey, it looks like we've got a view. So that's a Belak over there below, and Socach, which is over there. So we're dropping down this ridge. As I say, it's very rocky. I'll show you where we've come from. Very, very rocky. And we're going to drop down to that Belak before we make our ascent. The next Munro. Where that locken is down there, and the various locks, that's the quagmire that I had to navigate through in that mist earlier. It was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So the plan is to make our way up to the top. Quite a simple one. Follow the ridge, which you can't see, but you can over there, all the way back to the Belak, and then down to the hostel. I'd like to show you where we've come from, but I'm struggling. Definite path, wiggling and zigzagging up, trying to take the gradients away, but it's quite steep. Again, missing out some glorious views, I'm sure. Wow, here we are, Skerdan Carvan. Wow, what a mountain. That was awesome, despite not seeing anything. What a trek that was. Top of the world. So I can see the hostel down there, still on this ridge. It's trying to clear. I've just got to climb over this lump here before I drop down to the Belak, and then we'll hang a right. Hopefully it's not too steep. It's really nice to get out the wind. It's at the Belak. Wow, I can't say that's me done for the day, because it's going to take me an hour to get down to the hostel, and then probably a 3-hour walk back to the car park. Maybe more. So a long way to go. Do you know what? I think I might grab a coffee whilst I'm passing the hostel. Just looking back up, it seems to have cleared up somewhat. Typical, isn't it? I was in cloud when I was on that ridge. So, heading home. Got all my sleeping bags, spare clothes and all the rest back in my sack. Weighed down again. Let's get on with it. Probably 3.5 hours, I'd suspect, back to the car. Hi, welcome to day 100 and what transpires 101 of my Munro challenge. I walked routes number 57 and number 58 over Saturday the 18th, Sunday the 19th of June. Parked at Afric River car park, not the one at Christoph Bridge, there's one a bit further on, and it's £3 payable. Now I need to start by saying my original plan wasn't this. I originally planned to get the boat up Mullerdock, pitch a tent at the bottom and then do all 6 in a horseshoe, which makes a lot of sense, and you can probably do it in 15 miles and easily do it in a day. And I'd planned on maybe wild camping the night and getting picked up in the morning by the boat. Fortunately the boat's not running this year, so I resorted to plan B, which was using a hostel. So let's start. I walked up the side of the loch to the cairn and then worked my way up the glen to Mam Sodhail, a fabulous corrie. The weather was absolutely vile. I was frozen walking through the corrie. It was extremely windy. The rain was driving when it did rain. Then it stopped raining. The sun had come out, but it was bitterly cold with the wind. Very, very windy. And the day just got worse and deteriorated. The wind seemed to get stronger and the gaps of sunshine got less and less. So once you get to the top of the corrie, you're almost at Mam Sodhail. You can see a very, very huge cairn. It's actually hollowed out so you could get shelter in the top. Great views, what I could see, various ridges leading along, absolutely stunning. Now Carn Eige doesn't look too far away. In fact, it's not. You drop down to the Bealach and it must be close and not being a Munro, because it doesn't seem to be that far. And indeed the climb up the other side again doesn't seem that far, so you kind of climb your first 2 Munros quite quickly, and which maybe lulls you into a false sense of, oh, today's going to be easy, because it certainly isn't anything but. Now the drop down to Benyun Y is much further, and indeed you've got a bit of a boulder field to cross. It becomes quite rocky, and the climb up actually Benyun Y was reasonably tough, quite a steep little climb. Some fabulous views, and all the time when you're up there you're kind of thinking, right, how do I get across to the others? Now I contemplated dropping right down to the valley bottom and climbing up the other side, but I just didn't fancy losing that much height, so I decided that the best way would be to try and traverse the underside of Carn Eige and Mam Sodhail and try and work my way round to the Bealach below Socach. Unfortunately you've still got to make your height, and you're almost as high as Mam Sodhail actually by the time, because the next top you've almost got to get to before you start making a long descent to the Bealach. So you've still got a fair bit of climbing to do anyway, even though you've done a lot of traversing to avoid climbs. Now the climb up Socach was quite rocky and difficult underfoot, boggy. And there's a couple of tops to contend with before you get there. Now by now I'm in really bad weather. Because I've used the hostel, I'm also carrying 2 days clothes, 2 days food, extra water, a sleeping bag. You know, I was pretty much a tent shy of wild camping, which I was considering why I hadn't done that. Having said that, with them winds as it was, they were so debilitating. I'm not sure I could have even pitched a tent, because I was blown off my feet several times, and I lost stuff out of my sack with the wind when I was almost on my hands and knees when I'm going into the headwind. It was brutal. So by the time I got to the Belac, I thought 4 Munros was quite an achievement in them conditions. And I was exhausted, and I decided the best thing to do was drop down, because with the weight I was carrying and the conditions, I couldn't see myself completing the other 2 on that day. Now, given a fair day and not carrying the weight, I think all 6 are very achievable. Anyway, I dropped down the 500 metres to the hostel. What a fabulous hostel, by the way. Absolutely fabulous place. Very warm welcome, very clean, very basic, but everything you need, even a warm shower. So the following morning I had to then climb back up, but it does make the second day quite tough, got quite long. So you climb back up to the Belac, and I did leave some kit in the hostel to save weight in my pack. Now I dropped down, or traversed down the other side towards the Lochen, which turns out to be a huge swamp, and I had some serious navigation issues to get round that swamp, and off at the appropriate place at the other side. But we got there. But you know, with the cloud as it was, I was in cloud all day. It did make it quite tough. But once you got onto the ridge to Mullochnan you're on quite a definite path, so you didn't need to worry about nav. Now, I have to say there are a couple of tops and a couple of little boulder fields and ups and downs to get there, so it's quite a way away, Mullochnan. I can't really tell you much about the view, but I would imagine it's stunning, and I would imagine the ridge walk was stunning. Anyway, I retraced my steps all the way back to where I joined the ridge, and then I started climbing up Skerna Carvan. Wow, that was epic. It was such a fabulous climb. It was quite steep, it was very angular, and it seemed to go on for quite some time. And you just felt I'm missing out on a spectacular looking mountain, even though I couldn't see it. I would imagine of all the 6 I've climbed, that was the one that would stick in your memory should you get to see anything. It was awesome. At the top, you can hang a left. It's not shown on the map, but there's a definite path dropping down the ridge, and it takes you all the way back to the Belac, which in turn takes you down back to the hostel. Now, your day's not done here by any stretch. It's about 8 miles from the hostel back to the car park. So I was thinking, I'm tired, you know, I'm carrying all the weight again, it's going to be 3.5 hours. Now, as it happened, I'd got a jig on. I really wanted to get back. The sun had come out by this point, the wind had died, and it was quite a pleasant afternoon. So I managed to get back to the car park in just over 2.5 hours. Wow. So my Strava for the 2 days, because it was combined, because there's zero signal, zero anything in that area, my Strava ran over the 2 days, 40.5 miles, a whopping 10,240 feet of climbing, and both days took approximately 11 hours, so there's 22 hours in total. Like I say, plan A, I would definitely do plan A every time, given the boat was running up Mulladock. This was achievable in 1 day, given the conditions were right, but even over 2 days, it's tough. It's really tough 2 days out.
So